Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled.
I'm Batman.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Wonder Woman! Wonder Woman!
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
I'm Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel. Now I am immortal.
I'm Captain Kirk.
I'm a doctor. But probably not the one you expect.
Welcome to Geek This Week, and this is the top 10 Doctor Who 12th Doctor stories. With season 10 now over, and with the 2017 Christmas special being Peter Capaldi's last outing as the Doctor, I wanted to celebrate Peter Capaldi's tenure as the Doctor with my top 10 12th Doctor stories. I compiled this list based on Peter Capaldi's performance, supporting characters, contributions to the story, the overall story plot, and the feel of the story. As they say in Doctor Who, there will be spoilers, so if you're behind, you may not want to watch. I really like Peter Capaldi, and I loved his performance as 12th Doctor, and I really want to celebrate Peter Capaldi's tenure as the Doctor. So without further ado, let's get on with the top 10 Doctor Who 12th Doctor stories. Number 10. Empress of Mars, Season 10. This story finds the Doctor, Bill, and Nardo on Mars in 1881 with a Victorian Britain army, and we also see the return of the Ice Warriors. Ice Warriors were classic Doctor Who characters introduced in the second Doctor's run, and were also in the third Doctor's run. This has several good things in it. One of the things that I did like was a little nod to the Curse of Pentland. That was a third Doctor story, and that reference was made by when the Doctor covertly contacts Alpha Centauri. This was a very good episode, and I liked the interaction between the Empress of the Ice Warriors and Bill, but the Doctor himself just made it worthwhile. Now, Nardo was not in the story for the most part, and I think the ending helped a little when Nardo reappeared with Missy Podlington, the TARDIS. Overall, this was a good episode, but not as good as the others on the list, and that's the reason why this is at number 10. I still like this episode, and I think this just shows the chemistry between the Doctor and Bill. I think Bill is probably a little better fit for the Doctor, but this is a good story, and I like all the little references back to classic Doctor Who. So if you've never seen this episode, you need to check it out. I'm not giving away most of the plot, but I just do like the return of the Ice Warriors, and I thought it was well done. I like the makeup and possibly CG combination that was used for the Ice Warriors, and it was just really good, and it was a good overall story. I liked that the Empress valued women. She took Bill's opinions far over the Doctor's opinion, and much more. And I just think that the character Gotska really was an interesting character that was a coward at the beginning and became a man of courage, willing to die for his subordinates. So, Empress of Mars is my 10th pick on this list. Number 9. The Saigon Invasion, the Saigon Inversion, Season 9. This two-part episode is a sequel to the 2013 50th anniversary special Day of the Doctor. This sees a renegade faction of the Saigons trying to disrupt the peace treaty between the Saigons and Earth. When one of the Osgoods that came into existence, as one was human, one was a shape-shifting Saigon duplicate to keep the peace where they wouldn't be able to tell who was who, is kidnapped by renegade Saigons, bringing the Doctor in to stop the renegade Saigons from destroying the peace treaty. This episode had these two-part episode had a lot of great moments, and one of the funniest moments was when the Doctor called Clara on her cell phone and left a message for her telling her, "This is Dr. Disco." I found that was pretty funny, and it shows the humor and wit of Peter Capaldi's Doctor. Once again, he resumes the role as president of Earth, and the climax in the Saigon Inversion, where the Doctor talks about how he's had to make that dreadful choice of killing thousands and thousands, referring to in the Time War, which in reality the Doctor did not destroy Gallifrey, just the Daleks. This is a great episode, a two-part episode, and I just love Capaldi's performance in this. But also, I thought that Ingrid Oliver's performance in this episode as Osgood was great, and it was good to see her. And at the end, it was great to see that she still showed her love of the Doctor with her wardrobe and dress style. And it was interesting that she once again refused the Doctor's offer to become a companion, but she explained that she still has to uphold the peace between the Saigons and the humans, and it showed the other Saigon, the renegade Saigon, Bonnie, becoming Osgood. Great episode. If you've never seen it, you need to check it out. But this is number 9 on my list. Number 8. The Magician's Apprentice, The Witch's Familiar, Season 9. This 2-episode opener to Season 9 shows the Doctor face his most deadly enemy, Davros, the creator of the Daleks. It finds the Doctor returning to Skaros, not realizing he's on the planet, where he sees a young boy in a field of hand mines. The Doctor tries to rescue him and throws his sonic screwdriver to create a field of communication between him and the boy. When he discovers the boy's name, Davros, immediately the Doctor panics and leaves. Later on, he is pursued until he is forced to return to face Davros, who is dying. It is all a ruse on Davros' part to gain the Doctor's regenerative energy to regenerate himself and the Daleks with Time Lord DNA. This 2-part also shows the return of Missy, the current incarnation of the Master, and she is just witty and charming throughout these 2 episodes. One of the cool things is this starts to introduce the Doctor's love for musical instruments, more precisely the electric guitar, which is actually played by Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi was in his younger days, was in a band called the Dream Boys, along with Craig Ferguson in the 80s. So this was a great two-part episode, and I loved the ending where we discovered that the Daleks somehow know the word mercy, and the Doctor quickly figures out that he must go back and save Darvis so that he will instill mercy into the Daleks. Very good episode. I love it. I love the little scene where Missy and Claire go back to 13th century England to get the Doctor to make sure he's okay, and find him playing the electric guitar in an axe battle and referring to the medieval people as dude, which was a reference to the movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Overall good episode. I think one of the things that was interesting is they decided to forego giving the Doctor a new sonic screwdriver and going with sonic sunglasses. Some people didn't like that, some people did. But to me, this was a great opening to season 9. Good performances by Capaldi, Michelle Gomez, and Jenna Coleman. It was just overall great two-part episode, and I enjoyed it. But it is number 8 on this list. Number 7. Face the Raven, Season 9. This episode sees the Doctor and Clara reuniting with Rixie from the 8th season episode Flatline, who calls Clara for help when he discovers a number tattoo on his neck that is counting down and no memory of how he got the tattoo. The Doctor, Clara, and Rixie finds a hidden alien town and discovers Me, played by Marcy Williams from Game of Thrones. They are investigating the accusation that Rixie committed murder by killing one of the aliens in the hidden city and trying to prevent his death. When the Doctor finally discovers that the alien victim is not dead but kept in chronic hibernation, he is able to free her, but he is caught in an electronic device, and a transport the band is clamped onto his arm. It's just, while this is all going on, Claire is able to get Rixie to transfer the chrono clock to her without the Doctor's knowledge. When Me informs the Doctor that she cannot stop Claire's death, the Doctor becomes furious. This is really one of Capaldi's performances, showing the anger and telling Me that the Doctor is gone, you have to deal with me. A very, very good episode, and this leads into the next episode, Heaven Sent. The reason why I didn't compile all 3 episodes together is because the tremendous outcome of this episode, showing Claire's death, is undermined by the finale of season 9, Hellbent. So that's the reason why I've just separated the 3 episodes and placed Face the Raven by itself. This is a great performance by Jenna Coleman. I thought she did excellent in this episode, and I think also this is shows Capaldi once again shows why he is just so good at being the 12th Doctor. But for now, this episode stays number 7 on my list. Number 6. Dark Water, Death in Heaven, Season 8. This 2-part episode finale to Season 8 starts with the death of Claire's boyfriend, Danny Pink, who is killed while crossing the street, hit by a passing car. Claire, struck with grief, tries to force the Doctor into going back in time and saving Danny from being struck by the car. The Doctor refuses, and Claire tries to portray the Doctor, but is tricked. The Doctor nevertheless agrees to help Claire save Danny's soul in the afterlife and rescue it. They are transported to a mausoleum where they discover skeletons sitting in water chambers. They later discover these are actually skeletons that have been converted into Cybermen. The mastermind behind the Cyberman conversion is revealed at the end of Dark Water to be Missy, who reveals that Missy is short for mistress, and that she is the female incarnation of the Master. The second episode shows the Cybermen trying to take over the Earth as the dead are being converted into Cybermen. Unit is called in, and the Doctor finds himself as the president of Earth. Missy reveals that she has done all this to give the Doctor an army so that he can bring order to the universe. The Doctor refuses to do this and declares that he is just an idiot with a box who's just trying to help people. Danny is able to overcome his programming and is given the control bracelet to all the Cybermen, who forces the Cybermen to fly into the sky, destroying themselves. Missy then tries to get away, but Claire prevents her and is ready to kill Missy with her own weapon. The Doctor, however, insists that he must do the deed himself to keep Claire's hands clean, but before the Doctor can perform the deed, Missy is apparently vaporized by a Cyberman, who is revealed to be Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, Kate Stewart's father. Later, Danny Spirit contacts Claire from the Nether Sphere and says there's only enough power in Missy's control bracelet to bring one person back to life. Danny decides to use it to rescue a boy he had accidentally killed while serving in the army. This is a great episode. This shows Jenna Coleman's performance as an actress as she brings some death into the character of Claire. But this is one of the biggest reveals at the end of Dark Water, Missy being the female incarnation of the Master, confirming that a Time Lord can change gender in a regeneration. This is just an overall fun two-part episode, and this is really done well. This was later re-edited little and aired in theaters in 3D before the premiere of season 9. Still, this is a great two-part episode. I love it, and it is overall good. If you've never seen it before, you ought to see it for yourself. But this is number 6 on my list, and I recommend that you see it. Number 5, Time Heist, Season 8. While in Claire's flat, the Doctor answers the TARDIS's phone and then discovers himself and Claire on an alien planet with a hacker who has an augmented brain and a mutant who can shapeshift into any form that she touches. All of them are suffering from short-term memory and get a message showing that they agreed to have their memories wiped, and are given instructions from a mysterious person named the Architect so that they can break into the bank of Kara Brathis to steal 3 items. When they get to the bank, they find that it's secured. Security is controlled by a highly telepathic alien called the Teller, who is able to detect the criminal intent in individuals and can destroy their brains. With this, the Doctor realizes why the memory wipe was necessary, and they all proceed to try to get to the vault. When the hacker and mutant apparently sacrifice themselves so that they can get to the vault, the Doctor discovers the doors are impossible to open, but with the solar flare, the Doctor is able to get the unlocking mechanisms to work, and realizes this is a time heist, and realizes that 2 items are, 1 to stabilize the mutant's DNA so that she doesn't shapeshift uncontrollably or can stay in one form, and also to return the hacker's long-term memory that was lost to him by augmentation. They discover that the third item to rescue is the tailor's mate that's been kept prisoner to keep the tailor under control. We also discovered that the doctor was contacted by an older version of Madame Carabrafis, the owner of the bank, who regrets holding the mate prisoner and asks the doctor to rescue the tailor and his mate. Overall, great episode. This really shows the doctor's sinister manipulative abilities, something that goes back to the 7th Doctor. Very good episode, really like this. And this is one of the episodes that really made me fall in love with Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor, and I just really think this is a good episode. And I like this where, to me, the chemistry between Jenna Coleman and Peter Capaldi really work. But nevertheless, I really like this episode, and it is number 5 on the list. Number 4, The Mummy on the Orient Express, Season 8. What appears to be the Doctor and Claire's last adventure together, the Doctor takes Claire to the future to a space-bound train that is modeled after the Orient Express, where passengers wear period outfits matching the time of the Orient Express. Shortly after arrival, there is the mysterious death of an elderly woman named Miss Pitt, who dies after claiming to witness a mummy attacking her. Then another passenger dies, and another, and the Doctor realizes there's a mystery on hand. They quickly discover that they're not on the train, they're trapped in a laboratory in an experiment where a voiceless voice tells them that they are there to solve the mystery of the foretell. They're forced into trying to understand and reverse engineer whatever technology is being used. They discovered that the foretell is targeted people that are medically the weakest. When the Doctor transfers the fear and knowledge into himself for 66 seconds before the foretell will kill, the Doctor is successfully able to determine that the foretell is actually a modified stealth soldier from a long ago war. The Doctor quickly offers their surrender, and this makes the foretell believe the war is over. He becomes invisible, salutes the Doctor, and disappears into Apollo dust, leaving the phase shift technology. The mysterious Gus congratulates the passengers on their success and evacuates the air in the train as their services are no longer needed. As the passengers and Claire passes out, the Doctor rigs the phase shift device into a short-range teleporter and evacuates everyone to the TARDIS before the train explodes. This is a great episode. I like it because it has the feel of a Agatha Christie mystery. There's the mummy itself, which gives it a little intrigue. But overall, I just love Capaldi's performance as the Doctor. Also, Claire's performance is once again good, Jenna Coleman. And I'd like that little nod to a favorite band of mine, Queen, when you can hear "Don't Stop Me Now" being played on the train, which it's done in a unique way. I just thought it was pretty interesting that that song was picked. But it's a great episode. It is one of my favorite episodes out of season 8. It's probably my favorite out of season 8 of them all. So definitely, if you have never seen this episode before, you should watch it. Number 3. World Enough and Time, The Doctor Files, Season 10. This is the 2-part season finale of Season 10 and the final 2 episodes in the regular season for Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. This is such a great 2-part episode, And without ruining the plot, because this just recently aired and maybe a lot of people haven't seen it, I'll briefly go over the plot. The Doctor, Nardo, Bill take Missy on a trip to give her a chance to prove that she has changed by putting her in a situation to try to help people with the Doctor supervising. The situation quickly escalates when Bill is killed accidentally by an alien, but taken away by strange beings to the lower levels of the ship that they are trapped on, which is hovering over a black hole. The Doctor quickly induces that there's a time dilation, which causes time to pass faster at the bottom of the ship than at the top of the ship. We discover that Bill has been installed with a device to replace her heart, and a mysterious man in an Igor type fashion cares for her, and over a span of 10 years, which is just a few minutes to the Doctor, Missy, and Nardo, takes care of her and befriends her. But then she discovers that in the hospital she is in, that people are being converted. The mysterious man, when he realizes the Doctor, Missy, and Nardo are on their way to the bottom, takes Bill into the operating room and has her converted. When the Doctor and Nardo arrives, they go into the operating room to discover a Mondasian Cyberman. While they're doing this, Missy is confronted by the Igor type man and discovers that he is actually the Master, played by John Sims, her previous incarnation. And the Mondasian Cyberman that the Doctor and Nardo have discovered turns out to be Bill Potts herself. This leads into the second part, The Doctor Falls, which is a wonderful episode. We show the chemistry between Michelle Gomez and John Sims as their incarnations of the Master interact with each other. This also is a great performance by Capaldi, as the Doctor is wounded at the beginning of The Doctor Falls and is trying to prevent his regeneration. The majority of The Doctor Falls takes place 5 stories above the ship, where they are trying to protect a group of children and adults from the Cybermen, who are slowly developing below at a faster rate and heading toward the upper decks. Wonderful episode. We get wonderful moments from Michelle Gomez, from John Sims, Bill Potts, who gives, Pearl Mackie, who gives a great performance dealing with Bill being converted into a Cyberman, and of course Matt Lucas gives a great performance as Nardo. This episode sees the departure of Bill as spirit is taken from the Cyberman body by Heather from the first episode, the pilot, and given the chance to go with her into space, or she can be reorganized back into her original body and resume her life on Earth. Bill decides to depart with Heather and explore the universe, returning the Doctor to his TARDIS. Missy, who decides she's going to help the Doctor, mortally wounds the Master so that he'll be forced to regenerate into her. But before the elevator leaves with the Master in it, he uses his laser screwdriver to kill Missy and prevent her from regenerating, literally killing each other in the back. The Doctor Fall ends with the Doctor in the TARDIS landing in a ice-ridden scenery and stepping out into the snow, planting his hands firmly as they regenerate to stop his regeneration, which he is successfully able to, saying he will not change. A mysterious being comes toward him asking who he is. He replies, "I'm the Doctor." No. You may be a Doctor, but I am the Doctor. The original, you might say. And we see the first Doctor, played by David Bradley, appear, and this leaves us with the cliffhanger going into the 2017 Christmas special. great way for Capaldi to end his final season as the Doctor. Great performances by Pearl Mackie, Michelle Gomez, John Sims, who was brilliant as the Master, and of course Matt Lucas as Nardo. If you have not seen this two-part episode, you really need to see it. Number 2. The Husbands of River Song, the 2015 Christmas special. This is the only Christmas special to make the list, and this is the Doctor reunited with River Song for a final adventure together, which also shows us their final date together on the planet Doridium. Wonderful, wonderful episode, and the chemistry between Alex Kingston and Peter Capaldi is excellent. We get several funny moments in this Christmas special. One at the beginning when he is first introduced to the mysterious woman in the red cloak who turns out to be River's Song, and when he tries to tell her who he is, she doesn't recognize him. And then when she brings him on board and tells him he is there to save the life of her husband, he gives a eloquent comment, "I'm going to need a bigger flow chart." Just an excellent episode. She doesn't realize that he is the Doctor, as she only knows his 13 incarnations, including the War Doctor, knowing that the 10th Doctor had wasted a regeneration, and that the 11th Doctor was his final incarnation, not knowing he had a second set of regenerations. Wonderful episode when she does realize that he is the Doctor. The wonderful banter between the both of them is just wonderful. It also is fun to see Capaldi in the role as of her companion, and him taking on the companion role of, "It's bigger on the inside." It's just wonderful to see. And the final moments of the episode of them together on the planet Doridium, which is their final date together, and she is sad, but then he reveals to her that a night on Doridium lasts for 24 years. Also, this is where he gives the sonic screwdriver to River that she will use in Forest of the Dead. Wonderful, wonderful episode. Like I said, I think that the chemistry between Kingston and Capaldi was just wonderful. This was a great Christmas special to me, with the exception of the 2017 Christmas special, which hasn't aired. Out of Capaldi's 3 full Christmas specials, this is his best Christmas special that he's done, and I just love the humor. I love the wittiness between River Song and the 12th Doctor. King Hygroflex was just fun. Nardo was just fun in this episode. Ramon, overall, just great episode. And not an episode, but a Christmas special. So if you've never seen this Christmas special, shame on you. You need to see this. This is number 2 on my list, and you've got to see it. Before we get to our number 1 Doctor Who 12th Doctor story, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Heaven Sent, Season 9. Heaven Sent is number 1, as this to me is the best performance by Peter Capaldi. This episode totally focuses on Peter Capaldi, and he spends the whole episode on him and him alone. The Doctor finds himself teleported into a glass chamber inside an empty castle where it's completely surrounded by water, and the castle reconfigures itself and resets all of its runes at periodical times. He also finds a cloaked figure called the Veil, a creature from childhood stories that he's afraid of. He finds out that every time he's confronted by the Veil, if he confesses to things, the Veil will halt and the castle will reconfigure itself once again, allowing the Doctor to escape. The Doctor tries to find ways to get out of this trap, but then has to confess to inner things. Along the way, he finds clues that leads him to a wall of asbantinium, a mineral that's 400 times harder than a diamond. He realizes that a clue he saw bird references a fable, a fairy tale by the Brothers Grimms called The Shepherd Boy, that featured a bird which slowly withered away a mountain with its beak. Then the Doctor realizes what he has to do, starts punching at the wall until the Veil catches him and touches him, which burns him horribly and disables his regeneration process. The Doctor uses all of his remaining energy to reach the teleportation chamber and reset it. Due to the rooms will reset, a copy of himself will reappear. He falls to the ground disintegrated, and the new Doctor appears, and the cycle is started over. This keeps going for 4 billion years until the Doctor finally breaks through the wall and finds himself suddenly on Gallifrey, and behind him his confession dial, which he had been trapped in for 4 billion years. He tells a little boy that approaches him to go and tell the Time Lords that he has returned, and he's taken the long way around. Excellent episode. This is a performance by Capaldi. He shows why he is the 12th Doctor, and this is just a wonderful performance of his. This is the best episode in Capaldi's run as the Doctor, in my opinion, and I don't think that the 2017 Christmas special is going to over eclipse this performance. This is, in my mind, the best performance of Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor, and that is why I have placed Heaven Sent as number 1 as the top 10 Doctor Who 12th Doctor stories. That's it for this top 10 Doctor Who 12th Doctor stories. I hope you enjoy. Please leave a like on this video. Also, check out all my other videos on Geek This Week. Several panels from PensaCon 2017, 2016. Also, Fanboy Expo 2016, which includes panels from the such as Dean Cain, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Don Wells, Barbara Eaton, the Dukes of Hazzard panel, and much, much more. Also, I will be posting shortly the 2017 PensaCon in Pensacola, Florida, the Game of Thrones panel. I will be posting that shortly, also along with the Walter Koenig panel, Chekhov. So please check back for those videos. I hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you so much for watching.